the way I start getting my refried beans set up is, you know, this is just like a 1 pound bag. And this usually is perfect for just one night of, say, some tostadas or, you know, probably one meal. So if I wanted to have some extras for a week, then I usually do 2 pounds, or, you know, if I was making brown beans just to have for brown beans, then I would probably make 2 pounds as well, because I like to have leftovers. So I usually try to get one of the little girls to sort my beans for me, but when school gets going, it's easy for me to get lost in the evening with them. But it's about 9 o'clock in the morning here, and even though it's probably ideal if you're a person that likes to soak your beans to do it overnight, I found that even if I can do it for just a couple of hours, it still gets the benefit. So usually in the morning after I take the girls to school, I try to come in here and get my beans sorted, and then I'm going to fill this up with some water and let it soak until just about 1 o'clock. And then when we go to set it back up in the crock pot, I'll bring you back in and show you all the ways that I season it, and then we'll go through the process of making this awesome batch of refried beans. A couple of reasons why you sort is, you know, sometimes you can come across like really bad beans, and there could even be rocks in here. So I try to look for ones that, you know, look really wrinkly, like this one, to take out, or if they're already in halves, to take them out. But that's a good reason for you to sort through your beans, because you're not always going to see a rock pop up even after you soak them. A rock's usually going to sink to the bottom. So that's about how many beans I chose not to keep. And now we're going to take these over and get them in some water. And I really just, you know, kind of get them filled till they're covered. And then I usually give them about 2 inches after that, because as they soak, they'll start to expand, and if you don't have enough water in there, then it's like having uncovered beans that aren't soaking. So I'm going to get this filled up, and then we'll come back after a while and check it out. Okay, so now it's just a little bit after 1, and this has been soaking that whole time. So I'm going to pour it over here into my colander, and I rinse it several times. So this is my no frills crock pot, and I'm going to put my beans in here, and so you can see it's about to there, and I'm going to bring the water level up to about right here. Okay, so I'm going to call that good, because it's just about almost about 2 inches of water, and I'll keep a close eye on this, and if I feel like it needs a little bit more, then I'll add some as I go. Now the fun is all the spices that we're going to add to this, and even though I started from some different recipes, I now just kind of do that thing where I shake it in. But today I'm going to try my best to measure it a little bit. I'm going to say about everything is either a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, but it's going to require a lot of spices to create the base for our refried beans. For my spices, I'm going to be using cumin, some black pepper, some salt, garlic powder, some onion powder, and some minced garlic. And if you don't have minced garlic, you can always use a bunch of cloves of garlic. Like last week, my kids use garlic like crazy. So last week when we made this, I think I crushed up probably 5 or 6 garlic cloves and submerged those in the pot. Okay, so normally I want this entire body of water covered in whatever I'm spicing. But for today, to just kind of give us a reference, I'm gonna say, you know, this is gonna end up being just a little bit over a tablespoon. And same thing, see, as I sprinkle along, this is what I mean about painting the surface, where all I can see is cumin, and I'm just gonna dump the rest of that bag in there. And same thing with pepper. I mean, I can measure this out for you, but I'm again just wanting to cover the surface as much as possible, just like that. So where you can noticeably see that spice. And now the kicker that's really gonna throw you off is the amount of salt. And honestly, when I was researching this, it threw me off because I was like, I don't use that much salt. There's no way I'm gonna use that much salt. But it really does require almost 2 tablespoons of salt to really infuse all these flavors into the bean. And so I'm just gonna measure these out today for the sake of it, and then I can tell you for sure if that's how much. But yeah, I usually come back and forth like that, and then one more time, and that's gonna give me the amount of salt I need. So I'd say for most things 1 tablespoon, and then, but I go crazy with the minced garlic too, so that could very easily be, yeah. So 2 tablespoons on the salt and 2 tablespoons on the minced garlic, and we'll say probably you know, a tablespoon of onion powder. So this quickly gets things smelling really, really good in your kitchen. Even right now, as we're smelling it all be put in here, it smells really, really good. So again, I'd say a whole tablespoon of this garlic powder. And in an hour or two, anybody who's here is gonna be able to smell what's going on. And that helps me know a lot about the seasonings too. I'm just gonna stir this to get as many of those spices worked in and around these beans. And I'm gonna cover it, and I'm gonna turn it on high, and I'm gonna say it usually takes about 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. So at 5 hours, the beans are usually kind of falling apart, which is fine because again, we're not trying to maintain the integrity of the bean to, you know, just eat with some cornbread. We're gonna end up mashing this all up. So this is the next step, getting the beans set up in some water with all the spices, and we'll catch back up with you in a couple of hours to show you what the beans look like when they come out and what I do in that process to get them to the refried bean part. So stay tuned. So we're almost there, and I'm gonna get just a little bit of this juice out, and I'm gonna use that to saute my onions. I'm just gonna pour it here in my pot. I mean, obviously you could saute in oil, but I just tend to use water a lot of times, or in this case, the juice from what I'm cooking. So this is just kind of a medium-sized onion, just diced up, and I'm just going to spread it around a little bit, and I'm going to cook that until it's soft and just a little bit brown. Okay, so these are starting to soften up, and I'm just going to salt and pepper them just for one little last dash at good flavor, and stir that up. I've just started separating some beans over here from the juices, and I'm gonna keep this juice, and some of it I'm gonna reuse as I'm mashing these up, and some of it I'm gonna keep in my refrigerator because it tastes so darn good that we've actually used it to cook rice, and I'm excited about using it to cook some soup. So this is where we're at. And this isn't all my beans, this is just a good amount of them. So I'm going to take these and move them over in with the onions. And I'm going to add a little bit of the juice that was in the bottom of that bowl. And I usually cook these down with the onion for anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes because I do a little bit of mashing when I'm doing it. And you just kind of want these two flavors to marry really well. So again, I'd say maybe 5 to 7 minutes once all your beans are in there. Now I got the rest of my beans, and you see all that garlic in there? Well, that's going into there too. This is kind of the point where I start getting ready to go into my last process, is when you can see that the beans are kind of starting to lighten up and they're breaking down even more. But we're getting ready to move over to the grand trick of making this refried bean recipe. I'm going to use an immersion blender, okay? But if you don't have an immersion blender, you could use a potato masher. I've even used, you could use the back of a spoon. I've used like a, you know, one of these rice paddles. You can mash. I mean, it's going to take a little bit longer, so that's why I say that, you know, The immersion blender is your best friend. So I've got just a little bit less than 2 cups of the bean juice left over. So if you didn't want to save your bean juice, maybe just go with that as what you want to keep for reserve. And I'm just going to kind of go down in here like this, and then more of kind of a stirring motion as I start to get the beans broken down. So here we go, our final stage of making refried beans. Now, depending on what you're going to use these for, we're going to use it for tostadas. So it doesn't matter to us if they're a little not fully broken down. You know, it's okay if there's a chunk or two of bean in there. But if you're wanting to make this as a side dish, then you might want to spend a little bit more time at making it more creamy. And that's kind of, you do that with the bean juice. And so right now, I'm gonna give it just a little bit more, maybe like a ½ cup, just to keep things smooth with my blender. So there you have it. That's our refried beans. It's got a nice little pourable consistency. You could definitely serve this at this state as a side. And like I said, as long as it's gonna set for a second while we grate up some cheese, and then we're gonna smear this on some tortillas and get our tostada night going. So I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like, but otherwise that's pretty much gonna wrap up how you can make some fresh homemade refried beans. Cook them while you're at work, and this last part takes less than 30 minutes. And if you bought your tostadas pre-made, then you could have dinner on the table in 30-35 minutes. We fry ours up from raw tortillas, but that's it. So check back in a minute with what the final product looks like for our dinner. So we're excited for dinner, and I'm telling you, you might drink bone broth, but I'm a bean broth drinker because this is so dang good. So I encourage you to take a drink when you get done, and I hope you enjoyed this little home cooking recipe time with me.